Hello, welcome to another audio commentary by Moltrap. First of all, by the way, I cut out the first less than a minute, I think, even, just to make sure it was under time. YouTube, for some reason, decided that they don't want you uploading videos more than 10 minutes long, rather arbitrary. In any case, this is a match between C and Julyzerg. I've very much been looking forward to this match. Julyzerg, obviously, excuse me, well, I guess it might not be obvious to everyone, but Julyzerg, basically one of the more revered Zergs ever. Julyzerg kind of had a period of I have to say, a small period, but it was a period of dominance a couple years ago, and basically wiped the floor with everyone for a little while, and then he kind of got into a little bit of, I guess you could call it a slump. He's been slumping for a while, to the point that last year actually ended up switching teams because NBC Game, his former team, they were basically complaining about how he hadn't won matches, blah blah blah, and so they wanted him to pick up the pace, and there was a bunch of negotiating and all this stuff, and Julyzerg ended up leaving that team and going over to SKT1. So now it's kind of interesting that after changing teams, maybe it was he had this fresh start or whatever. He's been playing a lot better, and he's been, he beat Bisu at the World Cyber Games qualifications not that long ago. He almost got into World Cyber Games. Basically been seeing him play a lot of good games lately, and a lot of people are saying, okay, well, maybe the old Julyzerg is back, and we're kind of hoping that the old Julyzerg is back and playing at its full potential. Now, interestingly, C, the Terran that you see here in green, is on NBC Game Hero. That's his team. So it's basically Julyzerg is now kind of playing one of his old teammates. I think it was more of a problem that he had with the administration, though, of his old team, not with the player. So I don't think there's any major tension or anything between them. But it's just kind of interesting to note that he is playing against his old teammate. Anyways, this map is Loki II, by the way. And as you can see, this is a map that has a protected natural expansion behind the base, and it also another unprotected expansion in front of one's base below the ramp. And that expansion is actually very difficult to hold because there's actually a way you can loop around the back and get in behind that expansion if you want to spend the extra time marching your armies around. Julyzerg here has gotten both of those expansions very quickly, and C, who I believe is known for taking expansions very quickly against Zerd, especially, has quickly taken that protected expansion. Very, very good thing for him to do because it's very easy for a Terran to hold that ramp on this map. Sometimes you'll see players will take the unprotected expansion first because it'll be easier to take the protected one later on, but C opting to go the safe route and not faulting him for it. It's probably the best thing for him to do. And just getting a couple barracks up, engineering bay. It looks like he may have actually he may have gotten some Marines out before Julyzerg was able to get in a scout, although he was probably relying on his overlord to scout. Julyzerg already getting a lair up, interestingly enough. It looks like he was getting his lair up in his actual unprotected expansion, probably because that SCV was running around his main base and he wanted to make sure C was not directly aware of it immediately. This is going to be a very crazy match, I can tell already, because both players have expanded. Both players have massive economies already going. Julyzerg has, I believe, I saw at least 2 gas mines, possibly 3. C has 2 gas mines up and running, and he's starting to build some tech, actually. He's building a factory and an academy. Okay, so he's going to go for Medic Marines. He's also building a factory. He's probably going to go for siege tanks and get kind of a tank push, but he's going to have to pick that up because Julyzerg already has his Spire up. Again, hiding that kind of in the back of his unprotected expansion there. C has got to know that the expansion is there, and he's flying over Julyzerg flying his Overlord over his base suicidally just to get that scout in, just to see what he has, and he's going to be able to see that, excuse me, see that factory before his Overlord dies. I think he's probably going to be able to see that academy as well, and the starport. Oh, and Julyzerg saw the starport too. Okay, so C is not going for tanks after all. What he's doing is trying to get to those science vessels very fast, because he realizes already that this is going to be a late game. Science vessels absolutely integral, absolutely 100% important against Zerg in the late game. Usually in the late game, the deciding factor of the matchup is who has more units of defilers versus and big tech Zerg versus science vessels. Because if a Terran gets a ton of science vessels around, then he can just go around irradiating the hell out of everything that the Zerg has, and there's not much the Zergs can do about it usually. If the Terran plays right and is able to micro those science vessels around and not get them plagued and not get them blown up by scourges and what have you. In any case, so C going for the long haul, getting those science vessels, which is what he needs. He's putting up some turrets. Again, very good safe play by C. Julyzerg coming in for that harass already. Looks like those 3 turrets will be up right about when Julyzerg is arriving, and Julyzerg's Mutalisks are arriving. The turrets are up, and he sees those 3 turrets. He knows he's not going to be able to get in that way. He's probably going to try and go around and pull off some other harass. C is pretty good about, well, first of all, C is good in general at his Terran versus Zerg. He's pretty good, as you can see, about protecting the holes and such, making sure that Zerg harass can't get really in too far. So he's got a little turret at the corner there. He doesn't just put turrets around his supply line and that's it. He puts it around the edges, kind of give a little bit of a defensive perimeter. I just realized I'm making hand gestures to demonstrate, but it's not going to do much good, is it? And C moving out, trying to catch some of those Mutalisks off guard. Julyzerg wisely pulling the back. Julyzerg going into full long-term mode as well. He's got those 2 evolution chambers up, so he can start evolving his weapons upgrades and stuff. He loses a Mutalisk there without doing any damage. That was a little bit, well, I won't say careless. He was just trying to go in and find that hole. Julyzerg has not been able to harass C at all thus far. He has not been able to harass July at all. But on the other hand, he I just said Julyzerg hasn't been able to harass July. Sorry. Julyzerg has not been able to harass C at all. He hasn't been able to do any damage whatsoever with those Mutalisks. But at the same time, C has not had the opportunity to push out because he had to keep those Marines back. And that's basically the point of the Mutalisk harass a lot of the time, is to keep the Terran bottled up in his base long enough that you can get some tech or get some forces. And that's exactly what's happened. So, and again, July just trying to hold back those forces, little skirmishes with his Zerglings. He's built up a sizable force of lurkers, which is exactly what he needed to do. And I think he sees that C was trying to go around. He needs to protect that new expansion if C knows about that expansion. Julyzerg bringing along a couple scourges in case the opportunity presents itself to go after that science vessel, because basically, as a Zerg, you want to try to keep that science vessel count low. You want to pick them off whenever you possibly can. Keep them down to just a few science vessels, so they can't just go around, as I said, irradiating everything in sight. And Julyzerg going in, a little bit of I won't say a pincer, but he goes in with, oh, the science vessels, the Marines are focusing on the Lings, and the science vessels go down. So that was a brilliant move by Julyzerg. I think Julyzerg probably lost a lot more forces than he really wanted to, but he ran in those lurkers very, very, very close to C's troops, and it was a very, very good move on his part. Ran in very close before he planted those lurkers, and then he brought the Lings around behind and tried to almost pincer C's forces there. Julyzerg pulling his lurkers back, trying to take that upper ground there, trying to hold that ground against C, who's trying to push back there. In any case, that was very good. He was able to take out a lot of mechs and Marines with that little push. And Julyzerg getting hive tech now. He's getting his hive, which is the culmination of what you need to do with Zerg. As soon as he gets those defilers out, they'll be in business. In any case, so Julyzerg doing a very good job of keeping C back, keeping him back. C has not gotten anywhere near Julyzerg's front door. Julyzerg just put down that one sunken colony just for fun. And Julyzerg going again, bringing, oh, sweet. Sorry, I just choked there. Julyzerg running his Zerglings through the Sea's forces, just getting in between them, getting behind them,